Have you ever wondered why our bodies just stop healing as well as they used to? It's one of the biggest questions in biology, right? Well, in this explainer, we're diving deep into the science of our stem cells as they age, and we're going to ask a really wild question. Could we actually turn back the clock? You know what I'm talking about. A cut that would have vanished in a few days when you were a kid, now it seems to hang around for weeks. We all feel it. Our bodies just don't bounce back like they used to. But what if that decline wasn't a sure thing? What if the very process at the heart of it all could be, well, reversed? To even begin to understand how, we've got to meet the team that's responsible for all our repair work in the first place. So let's meet the heroes of our story, stem cells. The best way to think of them is like your body's own master repair crew. They're on call 24/7, always ready to jump in, fix what's broken, rebuild what's worn down, and just maintain every single part of you. So what are they really? Put simply, stem cells are the body's raw material. They're the ultimate shapeshifters. These are the basic, unspecialized cells that can literally transform into any other kind of cell your body needs, whether that's a muscle cell, a brain cell, or a blood cell. Everything starts with them. And their job description? It's absolutely crucial. They build our tissues from scratch, they rush to the scene of an injury to patch things up, they're constantly swapping out old, worn-out cells with fresh new ones, and by doing all that, they make sure our organs just keep on working. Yeah, they're basically the unsung heroes keeping the whole operation going. But here's where we get to the heart of the problem. This is the conflict in our story. Just like any crew that's been on the job for, decades, our stem cells, they start to get old, they get tired, and they just don't work as well as they used to. This right here, this is the biological process we call aging. And it's not a simple process. It's more like a war being fought on two different fronts at the same time. On one hand, you've got internal problems brewing inside the cell itself, things like its DNA getting damaged over time. It's like the cell's own blueprint, its instruction manual, gets smudged and hard to read. Then you've got external problems. The whole environment around the cell starts to go downhill, sending it bad signals and faulty instructions. And wow, the difference is like night and day. A young stem cell is this responsive, super efficient powerhouse of regeneration. But an aged one, it becomes depleted, damaged, and its ability to do its job just plummets. The master repair crew just isn't the A-team it once was. Now, for a very long time, scientists pretty much thought, well, that's it. It's a one-way street to getting old. But here is where the story takes a really exciting turn. What if this decline isn't permanent? What if it's actually reversible? And this single quote from the research is a complete game changer. It says that these aging phenotypes can be reversed to restore the regenerative function of stem cells. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just saying we can maybe slow down aging. This is suggesting we could actually reverse it and actively make our body's own repair crew young again. Of course, science is always careful, so the big question is, are we really making these cells truly young again, or are we creating what some researchers call a pseudo-youth? The worry is that these reprogrammed cells might still hold on to an epigenetic memory of how old they really are. It's kind of like when you erase a pencil drawing, but you can still see the faint lines of what was there before. That ghost of the past could still cause issues down the road. It's a huge question, for sure, but the progress is still just incredibly exciting. Okay, so if reversal is on the table, how might we actually pull it off? Well, right now, researchers are zeroing in on three main strategies to get our aging stem cell crew back in top form. Let's break these down. First up, clear out the gunk. That means getting rid of the old, malfunctioning cells. People sometimes call these zombie cells. They don't die, they just hang around, causing problems and inflammation. We're developing drugs called senolytics to do just that. Second, fix the work environment. This is all about changing the signals floating around in our bloodstream to create a much more youth-friendly supportive system for our stem cells. And third, give the crew an energy drink. We can use nutrition or certain drugs to fire up their metabolism so they have the energy to work like they did when they were young. So what's the big picture here? Look, this research isn't just some sci-fi fantasy about living to be 150. It's about something way more practical, way more profound. It's about fundamentally changing the quality of our later years. It's about the dawn of what we call the health span. And this is the most important distinction. Lifespan, that's simple. It's how long you live. But health span, that's how many of those years you spend in good health, without chronic disease and disability.
The real goal of all this science isn't just about adding more years to your life, it's about adding more life to your years.
And think about the real-world impact. We're talking about treating things like sarcopenia, that muscle wasting that makes people frail, or even repairing a failing heart. This is bigger than just feeling younger. It's about tackling the root causes of major diseases, which would dramatically improve the quality of life for millions and ease the massive burden that aging puts on our families, our wallets, and our entire healthcare system. So it all comes down to this one huge question. We've looked at the problem, we've seen this incredible glimmer of hope for reversal, and we've talked about how we might get there. The science is still young, no doubt, but the potential is just staggering. Will all this research fundamentally change what it means to grow old? We don't have the answers yet, of course, but for the very first time in human history, it feels like that clock, well, it might not be a one-way street after all.